9 makeup mistakes that are currently ruining your look. My name is Megan and I'm passionate about helping you understand how to enhance your features while looking natural in a minimal amount of time. In today's video, I want to review the 9 mistakes that I typically see most women make when it comes to their own makeup application. You may be making some of these mistakes or you might be making all of these mistakes. Regardless, there are going to be tips in this video that you can implement right away to make a makeup application that you love and are excited about. Let's go ahead and jump in on the 9 mistakes that are currently ruining your makeup. The first mistake that I constantly see is skin being too dry. Now, as we age, our skin will continue to get more and more dry, unfortunately. You can combat that with using the right products and techniques in order for your skin to look hydrated and youthful. I already started with the ordinary hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna go ahead now and just apply a little bit of moisturizer from IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. I'm going to continue to use products that are going to continue a hydrated look and effect to my skin, but just starting off with skincare, it's going to be the most important thing that you can do to help your skin not look as dry. The second mistake that I constantly see is women using the wrong coverage foundation. Now, coverage, you can either have sheer, medium, or full coverage, and it's gonna vary for everyone depending on your skin and your personal preferences. As a professional makeup artist, I always use the sheerest foundation as possible and build coverage where I need it. Now, if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation or significant redness to the skin, for one, your color is gonna have to be correct, but also you're going to need to maybe use a medium coverage versus a sheer. You can still build up coverage where you need it with a sheer foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a sheer foundation by Dior. This is the Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and I am gonna start on my cheeks where I have the most redness, just to help even my skin tone out. Going back to add some lip balm, I'm using the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. You want to start with hydrating your lips at the beginning of your application, so then that way your lips have plenty of time to soak up the hydration and be prepped for anything that you're going to wear on your lips. The third mistake that I want to touch on is only using black eyeliner. Now, some of you might be using brown, but black or brown eyeliner, and if that's all you've ever used, you're doing yourself a disservice because black or brown is not necessarily going to enhance your eye color. Whereas if you were to use a blue, like a navy, or a plum purple, or a dark forest green tone, the list goes on, you'll be enhancing your eye color, and no one will really be able to know that you're even using a different color eyeliner to begin with. I'm going to start off with using the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Color Pencil in the color Ivy. I'm gonna go ahead and tightline my eyes, and I do this by setting the pencil on the upper inner lash line, and then I press with my lid, I press against the pencil while I move it back and forth. So then that way it's as comfortable as possible because this is a weird spot to do makeup in. I'm going to apply just a little bit on top just to get myself started. I'm just gonna take a small soft blending brush and now just blend this out because I don't want any hard lines, and I barely want it to even show that this liner is here. I really just want it to make my lash line look nice and thick. I also like to use my fingertip to help remove some of the product, so then that way if it is a little too much in the place that I applied it, I can remove a little bit without having to take additional steps. The fourth mistake I see is not using eyeshadow. Now, I know that most women feel very self-conscious when it comes to using eyeshadow because maybe you've just never learned how to use it, but I promise it can be really simple. It does not need to be difficult. You just need a couple of key brushes, not a lot, and you just need eyeshadows that are easy to work with. I'm gonna be using 2 palettes from Viseart. One is the Paris Hued palette, and the other is going to be the Natural Matte palette. I think it is key to have a neutral palette similar to this to where you can pair any of these colors with anything brighter or bold. This is going to help soften any kind of makeup look, so then that way it still has like the sense of looking natural while being a little bit more glam. I'm just going to start off by using a soft satin pink tone, and I am going to just press this on top of my lid, keeping it super simple, super minimal. I'm gonna layer right on top of that eyeliner. I'm now going to take a soft blending brush, again, something everyone should have. This is the Morphe brush in M456. I'm gonna take Wedge Classic taupe tone color. If you don't have a good taupe tone matte shadow, you need to get one. I am going to just take this right into my crease. I'm going to continue within the purple family, taking a smudge brush, and I'm going to just take this color by NARS. It is called New York. I'm not sure if it exists anymore. Hopefully it does, because it's a good one. Again, a matte eyeshadow, and I have that satin shadow already on my lid, so we're gonna have some contrast between finishes, which I'm gonna get to in a second. I'm adding this color at the base of my lid to help create some depth to my eye makeup. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm just gonna take a blending brush and just go over that outer edge of the eye and blend. All right, I'm gonna call it on my eyes and continue back into our 9 mistakes that I often see with makeup. The 5th mistake that I constantly see is using too much shimmer on the eyes. Now, if you have any fine lines or crepiness on the lid of your eye, you're gonna want to avoid shimmer. Or if you love shimmer and you can't go without it, you need to be more strategic about how you place it. I would suggest instead of going back and forth on your eye with the shimmer, if you have crepiness, you're going to use your finger similar to how I applied this satin shadow. That way it's going to lay more topically and it's not going to go in between all the fine lines and crepiness where it creates a magnifying glass and brings more attention to the signs of aging on your eyes. If you want to place it strategically, you'll take your finger and just press right on top where the iris of the eye is and leave it at that. All the other shadows should be matte in order for you to really get a high contrast, but also keep your eyes looking younger. The 6th mistake is not creating dimension. Now we're gonna do this in 2 ways. So this is kind of like a 6 and a 6.5. First, I'm gonna use a bronzer just to help give some warmth and give a little bit of shape to my complexion. This is not contouring, but it does give somewhat of an illusion where you can kind of get away with sculpting your features in a subtle way. I am going to be very strategic with where I place this bronzer. I'm placing it almost in a blush placement, slightly into my contour placement, and I am only using a little tiny bit. So basically whatever's on my fingertip is what I'm going to use to blend out onto my skin. This also touches on the first mistake that I see where skin is looking too dry. I'm using a cream bronzer to help my skin continue to look more hydrated instead of using a powder bronzer. I'm now gonna go in with a concealer to help bring contrast to my complexion. This is also going to help build a little bit more coverage with a lighter tone that's gonna pop more towards the camera. When I am applying near my eyes, I like to apply the majority of the product a little bit lower, and then as I get closer to my eyes, without adding more product, I am just going to get that product to travel closer. That way it doesn't gather and get trapped in any fine lines around my eyes. Part 2 to mistake number 6. I am using all matte products on my complexion as of now. Using any kind of shimmer is going to enhance any kind of texture on my skin, whether that's fine lines, wrinkles, or larger pores, or the occasional blemish. Once you put shimmer on top of that, it is gonna act like a magnifying glass. So there are different ways to help give a glow and a radiance to your skin other than using shimmers on your skin. I'm looking for seamless transitions between my highlight, my bronzer, and my blush. You don't wanna be able to see where anything starts and stops. It really should just be this fluid effect to your makeup. I'm now gonna set my complexion with a little bit of loose powder to help with longevity, but also help with creating less attention to any of my pores closer to my nose. And this is where we're going to use contrast within finishes to help create more dimension. This powder is matte, and I'm gonna place it everywhere that I don't want to have a shine. A little bit of powder is all you need. You do not need a lot of powder to set your makeup. Remember mistake number 1, you don't want your skin to be too dry, and unfortunately loose powder, if you put on too much, it's going to make your skin look dry instantly. So there's really this fine balance that you kind of have to play with to know what is the perfect amount for you. I'm gonna now add a shimmer illuminator onto just the top of my cheekbone here. Again, contrast within finishes. I have a loose powder that helped mattify this area. Now I'm gonna add an illuminator on the very top of my cheekbone, away from fine lines and wrinkles around my eye. So there's really this small little spot you wanna keep it in. Same thing over here. And this is gonna help just create lifted and higher cheekbones. Mistake number 7 is not completing your brow shape. Now, as we age, we typically start to lose hair on the tails of our brows, and our brows just get thinner naturally. So you're gonna want to make sure that you fill in at least a completed shape onto your brows. First, start by brushing your brows into place. This is gonna help see what shape is there. And then I like to just add a little product here and there to my brow to complete the shape instead of filling in my entire brow. Mistake number 8, I've already mentioned it, but it's going to be putting shimmer on texture or fine lines. I already demoed keeping the shimmer away from the fine lines around my eyes. I also did not use a shimmer blush, especially going in through the center of my complexion, because that would just magnify any of my larger pores. But being aware of where you place shimmer and how it affects your overall look is going to be significant, especially as you get older, because you're gonna have to get more and more specific about this placement in order to continue to have more of a youthful look. Mistake number 9 is not switching it up. I wanna give you a couple of examples. Instead of using a plum and a purple eyeliner, I could have used a navy eyeliner. Instead of using my go-to lip, I'm gonna use a different liner and switch up my lip color. Instead of using the same blush that you saw me use, I could have just used the same lipstick as a blush. There are so many ways that you can easily and quickly make changes to your look. You also don't have to apply your makeup in the same order. I challenge you to switch up the order that you normally apply it in and just see what happens. You might be really surprised by the outcome of your makeup when you do something in a different order. Here's my finished look, and you're probably thinking, wait a second, she did steps that she definitely did not show me. And yeah, I did. This was not a tutorial. This was 9 mistakes that you're currently doing with your makeup, and I hope that I brought some clarity around those mistakes so that way you can make some changes and implement right away to hopefully see a big difference. If this video was helpful, like and comment below letting me know which mistake was your favorite to review. For a full product breakdown, check the description below, and I'll see you soon.